I paid $1,400 for one of the rarest PlayStation 4 consoles ever, but unfortunately, or I guess fortunately for me, it's broken. There was only 12,300 of these made, and it's the 20th anniversary PlayStation 4. I opened this box just to make sure that's what was in here. What do we got here? Is that a cockroach? Hopefully that's just some is that a leg? I really hope this is just some cardboard or something. If this thing is infested with roaches, that's gonna be a problem. Let's get it out of the box and check it out. Okay, I got that outer sleeve off. Let's see what it looks like on the inside. Okay. Okay. I'm hopeful, that's okay. Got the plastic still on here. Number 11,511 out of 12,300. So this is a later model for sure. And here we have, okay, this is good. Look at this. This is the controller in the original packaging. This hasn't even been opened. It hasn't even been touched. Okay, that's great. And then we also have the PlayStation camera, and that also has never been opened or touched. What do we have over here? Okay, instruction manuals, and we've got the stand over here that is also brand new, never been touched. Okay, that's good. Let's get this console out and see what it looks like and if there's any evidence of cockroaches. And just looking at this a little closer up, I mean, that's definitely the exoskeleton of some sort of bug. This one, I am less sure about. I don't know what this one is, but it definitely could be from a cockroach. All right, and here is the console. The seller said the only problem with this is the HDMI port. And if we look right in there, you can see there is 2 bent pins there. So, yep, that's definitely what's going on here. I don't see any evidence of cockroaches, so that's good news. Luckily, there's not really any evidence on the outside. So this, on the outside, this is in pristine condition. I mean, 0 scratches on the entire console, which I would hope after paying $1,400 for this thing. All right, let's start getting it torn down. So I did clean off my work mat, and then I'm gonna use this microfiber cloth to make sure I don't induce any scratches into this thing. And this one, I want to be super careful taking these stickers off. I don't want to mar the plastic. I don't want to ruin the stickers. These ones are going to be ruined no matter what. So that is just how that is. But let's see if we can get these stickers off without causing too much damage. I want this to be in as pristine condition as we can keep it in. So I'm going to use a really fine metal dental pick to just get underneath this sticker. There we go. Just like that. Got a little bit of mar in the plastic, but really not too bad. A little bit of a mark there. Okay. Ah, no! That's like the last thing that I wanted to do here. That's okay. I can get more plastic. Man, that is really stuck on there though. There we go. I'm just going to use a black plastic piece from a different PS4, so that's not that big of a deal. Yeah, so this one pulled off the outer piece without getting that inner piece. So much drama and the video's barely started. Okay, now we're going to pull this warranty sticker off. That's pretty loose. The adhesive is just crunched on this. I'm not sure what I think about that. Okay, I'm just going to pull this partially off so we can get it unscrewed, and then we'll do the same with this one. I don't like taking these off since it is obviously a very rare special edition, but also we have to do this to get into it, so there we go. So I got the 2 black stickers off here. I have these warranty stickers loose. This one is just kind of, I don't know, the adhesive is just totally like dried out. I'm used to just tearing these off really quick, but on this one, I want to be super careful. I want this to be in pristine of condition as possible. Okay, now these ones, since this is the 1115 model, it's got two little clips on the side here that I have to remove carefully without marking up the plastic in order to get this bottom piece off to see if there are any bugs. Ah, there we go. Got that one pretty easily. Ah, there we go. That wasn't too bad. Okay, now I really hope there's not bugs in it, although that would make a really interesting video, seeing my back and forth with the seller, with the eBay seller. Okay, here we go. This is an important moment here. Is there bugs? And, ooh, there is not. No bugs, no evidence of any bugs. That is great news. And we've got a little bit of dust in here. So this thing definitely was turned on. Really not very much though. We'll clean out what's there just to make sure this is in pristine condition when we put it back together. Okay, that's looking good. All right. Yeah, this looks, I mean, it's brand new on the inside. That is great news. So let's get the power supply out, and then we will keep going on the teardown. The power supply, if there ever was bugs in it, they would be in the power supply. So this will just be kind of like a double check to make sure there was nothing in it at any point. Okay, and here we go. Actually, I'm just thinking this is the one with a screw on the other side holding the power supply in, I think. It's been a while since I've torn one of these down. Let's get the top side taken apart. Carefully. So glad they left the plastic on this, because this is obviously the very shiny part. But even the plastic, though, has no scratches on it, so this was very well taken care of. And a couple more screws. I'm definitely going much slower than usual tearing this thing down, because it's important that this stays in really nice condition, so. Okay. Oh, come on. Just think of it. Think of how mad you would be if pulling this off and I just like totally bent up this plastic or broke it in half or something. Oh, that would suck, but also be kind of funny. Okay, yeah, I was right. There's no other screws holding this power supply in. It just gets stuck on there. It's fine. So let's get that out now. These can be a pain though. Just gonna do some wiggling back and forth. It's coming out, almost. There we go. Okay, now I'm gonna use a very sharp pair of needle nose pliers. I'm gonna pull up on this power supply connector while I wiggle back and forth, just very carefully and gently. I wanna make sure that the plastic is in good condition, and you can barely even tell I was there. That's what I like to see. Okay, now this screw we need to remove before we can take out the motherboard and that top plate. So I have forgotten to put this screw in a lot of times and had to take consoles back apart back when I was running my repair business. While we're here, I'm gonna unplug the Wi-Fi cable, antenna cable. Disk drive cable is all kind of twisted on there. I have to make sure that is in place when we actually get this thing apart more. And we'll disconnect this. At some point we'll take this disk drive out, but not yet. Okay, so here we go with the hard drive. Now, my understanding is that this console does work. I probably should have started it up to make sure, but I did not. Now this has been upgraded. We got a 2 terabyte Barracuda. I actually bought an SSD for this that I am probably still going to install. If I would have known that it had this in it, I probably wouldn't have done that. But since we got an ultra rare special edition, we want to put the best of the best in here. So I'm going to put an SSD in here, probably just a 2 terabyte. We could go bigger, but 2 terabyte is plenty. Okay, now I got a bunch of screws around this metal plate, the clamp, and the fan connector. We'll just get the fan connector real quick. These you have to be super careful of. Fixed a bunch of these from people breaking them off, and it's easy to do. So once that's done, we'll get this clamp off and then remove all of these screws on the outside. All right, and top metal plate comes off. We've got all the thermal pads there. I'm actually gonna put them on this top metal plate to make sure we don't lose them on the board, because I'm gonna be moving the board around, repairing this HDMI port, and they could fall off, so we don't wanna do that. And with that removed, we can lift up on the board. Of course, we have cables still attached. Man, it's been a while since I've done this. I forgot about these. So we need to remove this one. And we need to remove this one. And there we go. I'm actually gonna leave this one attached to the disk drive right here. There we go. All right. With that done, now we can remove the board. And here we go. Obviously, we need to apply the perfect amount of thermal paste, so that clearly was not done. But especially since it's a special edition, we need to make sure it's got the perfect amount on. And you can see this HDMI port is definitely messed up. So let's get this repair done, then we'll get to the thermal paste. So this part's gonna be a little bit difficult for you to see exactly what I'm gonna do, but this is the old port. These are the mounting pins, so I'm gonna use some really hot air to heat up these mounting pins and also heat up right back here, because that's where all of these little pins attach to the board. So I need to get all of that hot all about the same time so the solder melts. Once all of that solder melts, this port will just drop right out. And then I'm gonna bring this port just like this and put it up through those holes. And so it connects to all of those little solder pins back there and also these mounting pins. Now let's get the old port out. And that is the old port. You can see all of these little pins have been pushed out the back. Those are all little connections that the cable makes with the port itself. You can see these are just falling right out. In fact, this one fell out just when I was pulling this out. So this is pretty typical of PlayStation 4 HDMI ports, and it was so common that I actually built a business off of replacing these. Now that that's done, we can flip it over and see how we did. And there we go. That is almost the perfect solder job for almost the perfect PlayStation 4. And just a little closer up, if you're ever not sure if the pins are soldered on, you can flip the board up like this under a microscope, and you can see each joint is really good. Now onto the thermal paste. And it's always important to have the perfect amount of thermal paste, but on this special edition, it needs to be even perfecter. Just like that. And with that all done, we can get this board back into the chassis and start putting this thing back together. So some places online and some YouTube videos say that this is actually the most rare special edition PlayStation 4, but actually what I've found is I think this is almost the rarest PlayStation 4. Things like the Taco Bell Gold PlayStation 4, about 6,500 units of those were produced, whereas with this one there was about 12,300. I mean, there was exactly 12,300. There's also an article online that talks about this being the rarest PlayStation 4 console, but that was based on this version of the console, but it was #1 in the series, so of course that probably is the rarest PlayStation 4. So I think this is probably maybe the second or third rarest PlayStation 4. Either way, it's extremely uncommon to find one of these, which is why I was willing to pay $1,400 for it. I don't see them very often. It's super rare that I find a broken one, so when I saw it, I was willing to pay up a little bit for it. I have seen working ones of these go for about $1,200 on eBay used, but I've also seen them go for about $1,700. So it's hard to know how much I overpaid for this. I definitely could have gotten a better deal if I waited it out, but since these rarely come up, I knew I had to have this one so I could make this video. I think it's gonna be totally worth it when this is back together and we can start it up. Let me know in the comments which of the rare special editions is your favorite. This is definitely one of mine. I think I like the 500 million edition better than this, but this one is pretty good. Now I did want to take this disk drive apart just to make sure that I could clean these rollers. These just get dirty, and over time, as they get dirty, they get less and less grippy, and so they won't pull the disk in very well. And since we're doing all this work, since this is a special edition, I want this thing to work as perfectly as we can make it work. So, taking these rollers, giving them a good clean, and it definitely was dirty. It's kind of hard to see against my finger, but it's definitely dirty. Not super dirty. It probably pulls discs in just fine, but this will just make sure and give it some extra life. All right, and there we go. Now we'll put this one in. I'm gonna connect this to the connecting rod like that. Put this end in, spin it till it aligns, and then I'll put the connecting rod inside this other one. And then I'm just going to push down right here till it snaps into place. There we go. And then we'll give the laser just a really gentle clean. Overall, this disk drive looks really good inside. Okay, now we'll get this put back into the PlayStation. Then we'll get that SSD installed. Now with the disk drive back in, all the screws in, we can put the bottom cover back on, slide it over, push it down until it clicks into place just like that. Now time for the SSD. So this is the SSD that I'm going to use for this PS4. These Samsung SSDs work great for PlayStation 4s, so that's what I'm going to use. And if I would have known it had this hard drive in it, I may not have changed it, but since I have the SSD already for this project, I'm just going to go ahead and place it in this PS4. Just makes this special edition kind of even better. All right, and with that mounted onto the carrier, we'll get it installed into the PS4. Now, anytime you change the drive on a PS4, you do need to put the software on it, so we'll be doing that with this USB stick. Be putting the full system software on it. Okay, now we can put this cover on. Now the glossy cover, and I am going to keep this protective plastic on here. I don't want to remove it because it's going to immediately get scratched up as soon as that's removed. Now just these 4 screws in the back, and then we'll be able to start it up and see if it even works firstly, and then get that software installed. And we need to put on this sticker that I destroyed when I was removing it. And there we go. All right, let's get it plugged in and see if it works. Okay, it's all plugged in. Power button works. Blue light comes on. Let's see if we get a signal. Black screen, come on. Okay, we do get a signal. It's in safe mode. That's normal for when you don't have the software installed. So I'm gonna get that installed next. Then we'll make sure it all works. And there we go. The last thing we need to do is see if the disk drive works, if it takes the disk in and spins it up. All right, and here we go. Oh, that takes it in so nicely. And the disk spins up great. So here we have the fully repaired 20th anniversary PlayStation 4. I love how they have the textured cover with the 20 and the little icons for the controller. We've got the 20th anniversary name and number plate right here, the original PlayStation logo, which looks so cool. And then on the bottom side, we also have this metal plate right here. Usually this is just a sticker, but this is all metal. And it just looks super cool and really pops against this gray background. If you like this PS4, you're gonna love the other special edition PS4 that I also bought broken. I'm gonna put a link for the video I made about that one up on your screen now, so you can come hang out with me over there and check out that special edition. I think I like it even a little bit more than this one, but this one's growing on me. I'm always looking for special edition or rare game consoles to fix on my channel, so if you have one, I'll put a link in the description to a form where you can fill out and maybe we can work together to make a video out of it. Thanks so much for watching today, and I hope you have a good one.